Hey everyone, welcome back to another session by SSB Crack Exams. So this is a daily current affairs session for 27th of April 2020 and this will be taken by me, Chetana Purav. I'm your GK and current affairs tutor. Let's move ahead and let me tell you in brief about SSB Crack Exam. So this is a one-stop solution for major defense entrance examinations like CTS, NDA, AFCAT, INET, etc. For more details, you can visit our website learn.ssbcrackexams.com for detailed information regarding the courses. For more such videos of current affairs and defense related videos, you can follow our YouTube channel or subscribe to it, SSB Crack Exams. You can also follow us on Instagram with SSB Crack Exams, and don't forget to download our app SSB Crack Exams from Google Play Store. Okay, so let's move ahead, and before we move ahead, let me discuss a question which was from last session that I asked you guys. So I asked you guys about the full form of IFFCO and when was it formed. Okay, so IFFCO stands for Indian Farmers Fertilizers Cooperative Limited. Remember this one. And it was formed in 1967 with 57 member cooperatives. Right, currently it is cooperative members, which is the largest number, largest in the world as per its GDP is concerned. So yeah, it was formed in 1967 and its full form is Indian Farmers Fertilizers Cooperative Limited. Now let us discuss the news one by one. Starting with the news, INST scientists find low-cost metal-free nanomaterials. So scientists at Institute of Nanoscience and Technology have found a low-cost metal-free nanomaterial for visible light microbial disinfection. So we won't be needing any ultraviolet lights for those viruses to see them. It will be visible in simple daylight also, which can be an alternative to silver and other metal-based materials, right? And of course, since silver is a relatively costlier metal, so this overall project will be very cost effective. The team has suggested it to be a viable antibacterial alternative to metal or non-metal semiconductors and expensive silver, thus making it cost effective. Of course, we won't have to use any semiconductor or expensive silver, so it will automatically become cost effective. Now moving on to our next news. So chemical and petrochemicals industry becomes a top exporting segment for the first time. Union Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizers, who is Shri D.V. Sadanand Gowda, has congratulated the chemicals and petrochemicals industry on becoming the top exporting sector of the country for the first time. Right, so they have never become the first topmost company in the exporting sector. He has also assured them full support towards making India a leading global hub for manufacturing chemicals and petrochemicals, supply quality chemicals to the world. This also includes various petrochemicals along with fertilizers. Okay. Now, when was this happened? So this was for the time period of April 2019 to January 2020. Okay. Now the export of chemicals grew by 7.43% over previous corresponding period, and total export of chemicals during this period reached a total of rupees 2.68 lakh crore rupees. This constitutes 14.35% of the entire exports that was done by India. So that is why, and that is how chemicals and petrochemicals industry became the topmost exporting sector for the country in this time session. Remember this time session. Now moving on to our next news. So CSIR delivers immediate relief by providing hand sanitizers, soaps and disinfectants. Several CSIR laboratories which are spread across the country, they kicked off efforts to provide immediate and effective relief to the country's citizens by manufacturing and distributing hand sanitizers and disinfectants. So hand sanitizers also include alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Okay, so far about a total of 50,000 liters of hand sanitizers, which is a lot, and disinfectants have been produced within the laboratories of the CSIR and distributed among more than 1 lakh people belonging to various sections of the society. Besides this, what are the sectors in which they have distributed it? So to the police forces, municipal corporations, electrical supply undertakings, medical colleges, hospitals, panchayats and banks, and many more. Basically all those who are actually exempted from this lockdown period and actually fighting this coronavirus lockdown in the front line. So it has supplied to those segment of the people. Now moving on to the next news, which is from again Science and Tech, which is very motivating news that NTPC launches hydrogen fuel bus and car project for Leh and New Delhi. Remember the places Leh and New Delhi. Leh is in Ladakh, and so it has launched a hydrogen fuel bus. NTPC has invited global expression of interest to provide 10 hydrogen fuel cell based electric buses and an equal number of hydrogen fuel cell based electric cars in Leh and Delhi. That means 10 buses and 10 cars will be provided for Leh and for Delhi. The expression of interest has been issued by NTPC's wholly owned subsidiary. Remember the name of the subsidiary, which is NTPC Vidyut Vyapar Nigam Limited. Okay, now this initiative, which has been undertaken with the support of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, will also harness renewable energy for the generation of hydrogen and develop its storage and dispensation facilities as part of pilot projects at Leh and Delhi both. Okay, now moving on to our next news. So now essentials and medical cargo delivered across the country under Lifeline Udan. Now Lifeline Udan flights are being operated by MOCA, which is Ministry of Civil Aviation. We have already discussed that in 2-3 sessions, to transport essential medical cargo to remote parts of the country to support India's war against COVID-19. Right. So in total there are 383 flights which have already covered approximately 684 tons and also it already covered 3,76,952 kilometers of distance while traveling. There are in total 383 flights which is operated under Lifeline Udan and collectively by Air India, Alliance Air and Indian Air Force and some private carriers as well. 223 out of these 383 flights have been operated by Air India and Alliance Air, which are currently being used as the cargo suppliers. Cargo transported till date is, like I said, 684 tons. Aerial distance covered is this much, 3,76,952 kilometers. Now moving on to our next news, startups against COVID-19 in India. So there are many startups which are actually working for the benefit of the country against a fight for COVID-19. So one of these is the startup by Peptris Technologies. So it is done under Atal Innovation Mission, or shortly known as AIM, which is Niti Aayog's endeavor to foster innovation and entrepreneurship in schools, colleges and society. Now Peptris Technologies, what they are doing, they are developing AI ML based. Now what is this AI and ML? So if you are not familiar with this is nothing but artificial intelligence, and your ML is machine learning. Okay, so AI and ML based computational platform, artificial intelligence and machine learning based computational platform. Why? To accelerate the process of finding novel drugs. Okay, so this is the news and this is a startup named as Peptris Technology. Remember the keywords, which is the name Peptris Technology and what technology are they using? AI and ML based computational platform, under which scheme? Atal Innovation Mission. Now moving on to our next news. So IIT Bombay developed a low cost mechanical ventilator and the name was given to it as Ruhdar, which is a very good news in the time of this crisis. So a team of engineering students from IIT Bombay, not just IIT Bombay but also from NIT Srinagar and Islamic University of Science and Technology from Avantipur, Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir have come up with a low cost ventilator using locally available materials. Right now, why do we need this? Why was there a need of sudden ventilators in the market right now? So according to Health Ministry, among those getting infected, and by infected I mean infected by coronavirus, around 80% of those infected people will experience only mild illness, so that is not a problem or not a worry. But around 50% will need oxygen support, right? And other 5% who get critical or severe, whose immunity is very less, they will need ventilators and they will be put on ventilators. And for those 5% of the infected people, we need ventilators as soon as possible. So that is why this step was taken by the government. This so you can say step was taken by Department of Science and Technology, and as a result of which this Rudar have been developed by IIT Bombay. Now moving on to our next news. So now drones are also being used for monitoring. So there's a startup, Flightbase, from Gujarat, which offers digital platform FlyNow for aerial monitoring with drones. It can be operated remotely by managing lockdown patrolling, thermal scanning and disinfection, etc. Why we are using drones? Because drones can go anywhere easily without any particular without any hurdles, and at the same time maintaining social distancing. Okay, this is also a very important point, or you can say important reason behind the success of drones currently in the society. Enable administration for quick response to emergencies through video feeds from drones via control room. Obviously, in Gujarat, Flightbase is working with 200 local drone operators to identify the crowded areas. Okay, that is how this is working. The next news is that UV lights will be used for disinfection. Now, how is this going to be used? So UV disinfection trolley can effectively clean up hospital spaces to combat coronavirus. ARCI and University of Hyderabad, together with the help of Mekins Industries Limited, have developed a UVC-based disinfection trolley to fight against COVID-19. UV light in the range of wavelengths between 200 and 300 nanometer is capable of inactivating microorganisms such as bacteria and viruses, thus disinfecting both air and solid surfaces at the same time. So that is how it will kill the bacteria and the viruses. On average, the operator moving the UVC trolley system with an average speed of just 5 feet per minute can cover a room of 400 square feet within 30 minutes for complete at least 99% of disinfection. Right? So this was the news. Now, before ending, let me give you a brief status about COVID-19 in India currently. So as of 27th of April 2020, 8 a.m., the number of active cases of coronavirus, or the cases which have been tested positive and they are still under quarantine or treatment, so it is 20,835. The number of cases or the individuals who have been cured or discharged is 6,184, which is a very good news. The deaths is unfortunately 872 and one migrated patient. Now, it's time for quiz. Let me ask you the first question. So, when is the World Intellectual Property Day celebrated? Recently, it was celebrated with a lot of enthusiasm, but digitally, of course. The correct answer for this is 25th of April. Every year, World Intellectual Property Day is celebrated. The next question is, which sector during January 2019 to 20 has become the top exporting sector for India? So we have discussed this news in today's session only. The correct answer is, of course, chemicals and petrochemical sector. Okay, with 14.53% of total exports of the country. The next question is, in which of the following cities has NTPC decided to launch hydrogen fuel electric buses? So the options are Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chandigarh, and Leh. See, these are very confusing options because Hyderabad, Bengaluru, these two are usually technologically very advanced cities, but still don't get confused. There are two cities NTPC has decided to launch the buses. The first one is New Delhi, of course, and the second one is Leh. The correct answer is Leh. Okay. Now it's time for the question of the day. So the question of the day for you is, what are the byproducts of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles? I know it's a little bit technical, but still you have to know this. This is important as far as your environmental perspective is concerned. So you must know about what the byproducts of hydrogen fuel cell, and that is exactly how you will also come to know about why hydrogen fuel cell are uh, less, you can say, less dangerous for our environment. Okay, so the answer we will discuss in the next session. Till then, thank you. Don't forget to share the video, like it, subscribe to our channel, and till next session, thank you. Jai Hind.